And welcome everybody to Yard Prep here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I am your host, Louis Sung, from the back of my truck. My lovely Uber driver, Holly, my fiance, is getting me to where I need to go. I've got Andy in the top right corner. I've got Ethan Skolnick live at the stadium here as well. So how are you, gentlemen? How are we doing?
We're good. Made it here a little bit early today. I think we actually might get a decent crowd out here. Ignore the background noise. We're always all over the place today, obviously. But thanks to Andy and Louis for coming in. I do want to mention before we get started, we're sponsored here by PrizePicks. Use the code 5. Get that initial deposit matched up to $100. I'm sure Andy, Louis, and I will all get our picks up on Twitter, X, or whatever it's called before the game. So taking a look at those now. Again, this is our daily fantasy partner. You can use the code 5. Get that match. That is free money. There are no rollovers. Of course, you can play more than just the NFL, but today we're talking NFL. I took a look at that Braxton Berrios prop at about 31.5 yards. I think that's where it's at. I might play that one today with Jalen Waddle out. We'll get to more of that. But again, use the code 5 at PrizePicks. Also do want to mention our partner, Biscayne Bay Brewing. Louis and I were out there last week. Actually, the last 2 weeks. Andy was out there the first week with us. Great place to watch a game. They do have the $6 beers there, even though we're not there today. So check it out at Biscayne Bay Brewing, independently owned brewery, the only brewery in downtown Miami, and right down the street from Casaya Center, a place we're going to do some pre-games before the Heat games as well. They do have a full food menu. They've got foosball. They've got video games. My daughter enjoyed that. They've got a pool table. And, of course, they've got great beer. So check them out at Biscayne Bay Brewing, again, down the street from Casaya Center. I'm going to pitch it back to you here, Louis, but I want to start with one thing as we come today. As I'm talking to people sort of going through the parking lot here, there's more enthusiasm. You can take that off the screen, Louis, whenever you get a chance. I know we want to look at us. I think Louis has just disappeared. All right. All right. Well, you can hear us even if you can't see us right now. All right, let's get to it. All right. So, Andy, I'll start here with you until Louis can jump back in here. More optimism here and that I've noticed in a long time. Obviously, you get 2 road wins against AFC opponents, and now you're playing against a team that comes in 0-2, a little bit desperate. A lot of storylines in this game. Give me your one key, Andy.
One key has been what has been successful, surprisingly so for me so far, is that offensive line is protecting Tua and opening holes for the running game. That has been the foundation for this offense. That's why, in my opinion, we've been so successful so quickly early on. Keep protecting the quarterback, keep opening up those holes, and the rest will come. Whether Waddle's playing or he's not playing, whether Hill will play one day or won't play. I feel like the offense is built in a way that if the line is doing its job, the rest will come.
Well, and now we get Armstead back here, Louis, and so, it changes the dynamic a little bit. We're waiting on the inactives. They should be out here in the next minute or two if they're not out already. We'll check in on them during the show. But, they have protected Tua. They have open holes for the running game, but now you don't have one of your weapons. I feel like they've been preparing for this because a lot of times, even during the preseason, they didn't have Hill and Waddle out there at the same time. They've been rotating them in. How do you think they overcome the loss of Jalen today?
I mean, quite frankly, I'm not even that concerned about it. The Dolphins have already shown, as you mentioned, that they don't need Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle to be on the field at the same time. They've found ways to make it work without them. Speed obviously helps at all times. It would be nice to be able to have them at both times, but that's why also they probably elevated Robbie Chosen to probably take care of some of that speed gap. Now, how much do I expect from him? Not a whole lot today. I think that Braxton Berrios and River Craycraft are going to be able to get the job done just fine. They still have Eric Ezukanma in there who's going to be able to do his Deebo Samuel light role. Maybe they'll actually get him in some traditional route running as well. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to get it done. But as far as what the actual passing game is going to be, I'm not really all that concerned about it. Tyreek Hill is still there. The Broncos don't have Justin Simmons to help them out back there in the secondary. So yes, Patrick Surtain is there. But aside from that, after speaking with Sophia on Behind Enemy Lines version of Fins Nation, even she was not particularly optimistic in the defense's ability to stop Miami's passing game with or without Jalen Waddle.
Let's stay with the offense here just for another minute here, Andy. As we look at what Raheem Mostert's done so far and all the players that were supposed to replace him this offseason, now you look at A-Chain possibly getting an opportunity, Ahmed being hurt. Are you comfortable with Mostert as their lead back for the duration of the season now? I mean, we are talking about a guy who's had some injury trouble in the past and is on the other side of 30, but he's playing at a high level.
I'm comfortable. Like you said, the injury history kind of pauses me a little bit, but I think that's why the Dolphins decided to hold on to so many running backs for the season. The Wilson, Mostert, a chain, Brooks, and Ottman. So they might have had the same questions in mind, and we never know. They might still go after Jonathan Taylor after he's off the pup list. But I love the way he's running since last year. He's a good running back. If he's healthy, he's easily a top 10 running back in the NFL, running wise. In the passing game, he's shown he can do things too. So if he stays healthy, I'm very excited for what he can do this year. And if he has to miss a game or two, I don't feel too bad because what we have in the reserves can produce as we've seen throughout the season already.
Yeah, I personally have not had any issue at all with the idea of Raheem Mostert being the starting running back. Cook replacing Raheem Mostert. The only reason I wanted Dalvin Cook on the Dolphins was because it was going to be the ultimate luxury to say, hey, we also happen to have a Pro Bowl running back just so that you guys can, you have to deal with that as well on top of everything else. But as far as did we need Dalvin Cook, I was never on the train of, oh, we absolutely need to have Dalvin Cook or the running game is screwed. I was very happy when Raheem Mostert got brought back. I thought Raheem Mostert did a fantastic job. I still think he's doing a fantastic job. And not only that, now he's even extra motivated because he's been hearing all the noise. We saw him on the mic'd up. One phrase kept coming up and over. He said, you're not good enough. You can't play running back in the NFL. The guy is taking it personally. He's taking it very personally, what everybody has said about him. So now you have a Raheem Mostert who not only knows the scheme inside and out and already has proven that he can get the job done. Now he's taking it personally and saying, this is going to be the year that I show you all that I am a top running back in the NFL, and I'm here for it.
Sorry about the Hard Rock Wi-Fi here. It goes in and out a little bit. But I'm with you, Lewis. And obviously, I with what you said there at the end, and I think they can win with him. Like, I don't think that's been the big issue. I know that they inquired about every running back known to man, dead, alive, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, all pros. But, I mean, this guy he runs hard. He hits the hole. He doesn't dance a whole lot. He takes what they give him. And he's got top end speed. So, I mean, to me, it's just a matter of staying healthy and then staying with the run. Let's pivot to the other side again. I don't know that we all have the inactives yet, but Jalen Phillips is expected to play today. That's obviously a big difference from last game. But Andy, we saw that Van Ginkel used in that role that he used to be in, more on the edge, was really effective in the last game. We also saw kind of a coming out party a little bit with the Dolphins for Bradley Chubb. I thought that was his best game as a Dolphin, and now he's facing his old team. I'd like to see them get consistent pass rush today and force Russ to make some plays out of the pocket, because I don't know that he can make the plays that he used to be able to make.
I agree with you, and that's one of my key points for the defense. The Broncos' offensive line seems like a weakness on that offense. I expect Chubb, Phillips, Wilkins, Siler, etc. to go off today, particularly Chubb. He's going to have that extra motivation against a team that traded him with his old defensive coordinator, which was also on that team, which got fired. So I think there's a lot of extra motivation behind the scenes in this game, especially on defense. But O-line is a big weakness for these guys. I think we could definitely take advantage of it. And on the other side, the Broncos, particularly their offensive line, has been very undisciplined. They've committed 9 and 10 penalties, respectively, in their last 2 games. I think that's a key point that we can take advantage of. When they can't stop the pass rush, they get a hold.
Yeah, and now that the inactives are out officially, Phillips is playing, Armstead is playing, both things that we expected during the week. Of course, Waddle not playing. I wonder if they hadn't had the history with Tua that they've had. It just feels like everybody watches the Dolphins more carefully when it comes to concussion stuff, if perhaps Waddle would be playing today. Give me a key defensively for the Dolphins today, Lewis.
Key defensively, I feel like that the best thing the Dolphins can do is just play their game. I'm not particularly convinced that the Broncos offense is exactly high powered. I'm not scared of Russell Wilson. I have not been for the past few years now. I feel like he's at the end of his rope as far as I'm concerned in his career. Maybe he has a resurgence somewhere down the line, but today is not that day. The Miami Dolphins are here at home. Vic Fangio knows how to deal with Russell Wilson. I'm sure he's had plenty of experience dealing with him. He knows exactly what to do with these kinds of guys. And the Broncos offense, aside from guys like Jerry Jeudy, we don't really know that many guys on there. Javonte Williams as the running back, I guess. Okay. So maybe just try to put a little extra emphasis on trying to stop the run, make Russell Wilson beat you, because if I don't want to disrespect him by saying that he's completely over the hill. You know, he still has the mental aspect of his game, I'm sure. So if you try to dare him too much, he'll probably beat you. But just play balanced, play smart football, don't make mistakes, and I have no doubt the Dolphins can win this game.
The other factor today is going to be the heat. It is 86, 87 degrees right now, but with the humidity, it's supposed to be a heat index of close to 97 or 98. And you can already see the posts about how the Dolphins are going to be in the shade and the Broncos are not going to be in the shade. And as I said on Twitter, I'm sure that the Bills fans are already starting to complain about that from somewhere else, because we know that was a big issue with them. But I do think that that's a factor today. And I think that you're bringing in a team that, again, usually has an advantage in their place because of the altitude and having to adjust to that. Well, now they have to adjust to humidity and heat down here in September. This is why I've always felt that the 1 o'clock games in September, you want as many of them as you can get, regardless of what the owner thinks here. And to me, you run the ball as much as possible early. I feel like you try to wear them down a little bit, grind out the game some, and sort of make them wish that they were in Denver. I'd like to see, Mostert get 6-7 carries in the first quarter. Start to grind it down a little bit. I know they'll use the short passing game with Tua. Obviously, that's a big part of what they do, but run the ball and have Tua pick up third downs. We've seen on the short down and distance situations there that he can be very effective. All right, let's get.
All right, so Ethan popped out again. Real quick here, I just want to mention, because I mentioned Eric Ezukanma as a potential weapon for the Dolphins, but as it turns out, he's actually on the inactives list. So I'm guessing that sorry, Ethan, you popped out, but I was just pointing out real quick that Eric Ezukanma, who I talked about being active, he's actually not active today. So
Cedric Wilson is active, is that right? So is Cedric...
He seems active, as well as Chosen. Robbie Chosen seems active as well.
Okay, so Chosen gives them another potential deep threat. We didn't really see a lot from Chosen in the preseason, though. Again, this is a guy who's had some big seasons in the NFL. He's from down here, so that means you're talking about basically Hill, Berrios, Craycraft, Chosen, and Cedric Wilson, right? Those are the options. I'm a little surprised that Ezukanma is not active with Waddle out. I did think they would use him, so we'll see what that's really about. But let's get to the picks today. Andy, what do you like?
Are we doing our prize picks?
No. The game. I'm sorry.
Oh, easily. I like Miami, and I like them to win 28-21, 28-17. I feel really confident in this team. I feel really confident in our Hard Rock Stadium advantage. I think the fans are going to be going crazy, as well as the sun. And I don't really fear this Denver offense too much. I don't fear the defense. I think that Miami should have a nice showcase today.
All right, and as for me, I'm going to go ahead and say just exactly what I said on Pulse. It's exactly what I said during Behind the Lines with Pia. I'm going to go ahead and say the Dolphins win this game 33-27. That's been the number that I've gone with for the past several times now. It's something that I'm very comfortable with. I have no doubt the Dolphins can put up points. I absolutely have no doubt. But what I don't have a whole lot of confidence in is that the Dolphins will stop the other team from getting points. That is something that I'm not 100% confident in as of yet. So I'm still hoping to see that the Dolphins will manage to stop them from actually scoring. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and say Dolphins 33, Broncos 27. Real quick here, I just want to go ahead and bring this up because we didn't talk about it. I just wanted to really quickly. For those of you who are interested in the price picks situation, I wanted to go ahead and highlight just some ones that I feel like would be really safe bets for you guys over here. Just looking up right here real quick, Braxton Berrios, 31.5 on receiving yards. I feel like, quite frankly, that should be a gimme. I feel like that's an easy one for anybody who's going to be doing price picks. That one, Braxton Berrios is going to get a lot of touches today because I don't think that they're going to actively lean on Cedric Wilson, even though he's actually active today. Another one that I really wanted to look at as well, something I really liked to see is Kader Kohu at 3.5 tackles and assists. Kader Kohu is nothing if not aggressive when it comes to his tackling. I feel like that Kader Kohu is a fantastic option here for everybody.
You say manage.
And what was the last one here that I had wanted to highlight here? River Craycraft, 24.5 receiving yards. That is and will continue to be easy money until further notice. He's gonna get the 2 or 3 weeks in this game, especially with the ball. As far as it's concerned, just go and you should be good.
All right, I love that one, but I don't know if you guys can hear me. People are starting to pile into the stadium, which is why the wireless got worse. All I'll say is I think the Dolphins win this game clear of 10 points. I think that they do cover the spread today. I do think they will be able to grind it down. I'm expecting Mostert to go over 90 today. I do think that they're going to try to wear them down a little bit in the heat. He's conditioned for this. I don't think that the Broncos necessarily are. I would play Craig Kraft over today. I like that one quite a bit. Honestly, I'd play Berrios over also. I feel like most of the focus is going to be Surtain and others trying to take Hill away. So I think that some of the other players are going to get off a little bit. Tua will have a comfortable game. I think low 200s for him today. Avoid the big turnovers, and they'll win this game. We apologize for some of the production issues today. That's what happens when we got 3 people in 3 different places. But I appreciate Lewis, appreciate Andy, appreciate you guys checking out Biscayne Bay Brewing, and also Prize Picks. Make sure you use that code 5. We'll have full coverage after the game. Locker room videos will be posted here on the YouTube channel. Also, make sure to check out our Inside Leverage guys on playback every Saturday. Have a good one, everyone.
See you later.